everybody, and welcome to Renew My Revolution with your host, Michelle Kakal. And as always, it is my honor and my pleasure to be able to come and chit chat with you, share some tips and some tools that will assist you to becoming a better you. That's right, it does not matter how long you have been entangled into your mess. It does not matter how long you have struggled with this addiction, or struggled with this fear, or struggled with this issue. You can always click the reset button and start all over again. You were created, you were designed to do this. You are strong, you are powerful, you are fearfully and wonderfully made. And today we're going to talk about some of the things that we can do to make sure that we are heading towards the right path and becoming empowered and becoming inspired and becoming strong enough to tackle our day, our week, our month, and even our year. Today is going to be a good day. We are constantly talking about faith over fear. We're constantly talking about using these tips and these tools in your life, because without the application process, it is void. It is null. It is void. You have to make sure that you're applying all the things that you are being taught so that they can be effective in your life. Today we're going to talk about I have the power. I have the power. That's right. You have the authority. And the authority is the key to overcoming a lot of our struggles, a lot of our concerns, a lot of our problems, a lot of our issues. Is taking the authority over it. And we're going to use some examples, and we're going to share about how we can do that. I want you to understand that you do have the authority. You do have the power. You do have the strength to do it. Sometimes we feel as if we are completely exhausted and we have nothing else left. But I believe in that second win, just like I believe in the reset button. I believe in that second win. I've seen it work for me. So since I've seen it work for me, I know that it can work for you. So today we're going to talk about I have the power. Come on, are you ready? You ready? It's a beautiful day because we are here. We are able to rise up this morning. We was able to be given the gift of life, the gift of breath. And so for that, we are so very grateful to be able to be here today, okay? I think you have to get to a certain age to begin to say that, right? I used to hear the older people say that when I was younger, and I didn't quite get it, but now where I am now, I get it, I understand it. Not only that, but I appreciate it, and you will too, the older that you get. So let's talk about this today. Won't be with you long, but the information that I will give you will be essential. It will be helpful for you. And so once again, it is my honor and my pleasure to be able to chit chat with you today. Let's talk about it. You ready? Let's go. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to talk about I have the power. We're going to talk about that. We're going to use the story of David. I love David from the Bible. I love his story. I love his relationship with God. So I decided today we're gonna change up a little bit, and I was gonna share with you some things that happened with him and with King Saul. And we're gonna look at it from also a psychological perspective, but understanding that we have the authority and we have the power, and what happens when you give up your authority, your power. What happens when you decide to take a stand with your authority and your power? So let's just look at David, if you would with me just a little bit. David was 15 years old when he killed Goliath. His friend, which was the son of King Saul, his name was Jonathan. He was 42, and Saul was 57 years old, okay, at this time, okay, when Goliath was killed by David. After David served 7 years in the house of Saul, he was used as target practice by the angry king. If you have never read the story, like the entire story of King Saul and David, and Jonathan and Goliath and everything that happened after Goliath, take the time to read it. It's a very, very interesting story. It was so much jealousy, so much anger, strife, and rebellious. It was so many different emotions and characteristics that came out of King Saul that was not befitting of a king. I mean, it was so much that went on in this story that you really need to take your time and read it when you get a chance. I just want to briefly go through some of the things so you can see where we're going with this, okay? So David was forced to be on the run from King Saul. Like I stated, he became a threat to him, right? And so he became a threat to him because the people admired David a lot more because of his skill when it came to fighting. Okay, so they admired him and they said wonderful things about him, and so that made King Saul very jealous. Okay, made him very angry. And so because of that, he became target practice. They became target practice for him. Now we already see a huge age difference in the two of them. So you have like this older, bitter person who's kind of targeting this young, vibrant, full of health, full of strength, younger person, right? So the Bible says that David was forced to be on the run from King Saul, and he was on the run for 8 years until Saul's death. Okay, now Saul was 72 years old, and Jonathan was 57 years old when they died. Now I'm jumping around the story because I want to get to a certain point. So you see the age difference. David was 30 years old when he began to reign as king of Hebron, and 37 years old when he began his reign over Jerusalem. Now, I want you to understand there's a part in the story that talks about Saul, and he was having a lot of issues. Prior to him dying, prior to him chasing after David, he was being tormented. He was being tormented. We're talking spiritually tormented. He couldn't sleep. He tossed and turned. He was just like possessed almost, right? Possessed. He was stressed. He was frustrated. He was overwhelmed because remember, there was a door open. He opened up a door when he began to become jealous and envious of David. And so he just was tossing and turning, and he was really stressed out. And so, if you read the story, you have to go back and read the story. David was brought in a lot of time to play music, right? He played music to calm the discomfort, the stress that Saul was experiencing. So when you read the story, you'll see that he would come in, he would play, and guess what? Peace will come. That's why, have you ever heard they say music calms the savage beast, right? So music was played by this anointed psalmist, David. He would play, right? And it would bring such a peace and a calmness to Saul. But when he was not playing, when Saul was left to himself, when Saul was left to his own thoughts and his own thinking, he was not sane. He was not making any sense. He was irrational. He was angry. He was bitter. He was mean. He was being tormented. Now, psychiatrists and psychologists point to Saul as a man who drove himself mad. As we observe Saul's transformation from an insecure average guy into a wicked tyrant fraught with delusion, paranoia, and psychotic, unrepentant rage. Okay, these were the characteristics that Saul displayed. Okay, delusion, paranoia, psychotic, unrepentant rage. He was just angry, and this is how he ended up just literally making David a target practice. I mean, he literally did this, right? Not only did he chase him, but he literally just, threw things at him and targeted him. So this is the way that psychiatrists look at him and observe his behavior, right? He went from an average person who had this position to this wicked tyrant, right? When he allowed his insecurities to take the best of him, okay? So Saul has his first psychotic fit of angry rage when he physically assaults Samuel, okay? You have to read the story. Samuel was a prophet, and most respected prophet. Okay. Samuel and David are the two men on earth that Saul is most angry with. Saul's anger against David continued for the next 15 years. So remember, he was young when he first came in contact with Saul. And for the next 15 years, he spent his time being angry, right, at David. And this continued all the way until Saul's death. Okay? It continued all the way to the time he died. Rather than just humbly accepting the decree of the creator and step down as king, Saul's pattern of rebellion is transformed into a lifelong obsession of killing David. Now, Saul's anger and disobedience caused him to lose everything. Now, we're going to get somewhere with this. We're going to get somewhere with this. Just understand, we're going to get to where we need to be to understanding what our power and authority is. Okay. Now, his anger and disobedience caused him to lose everything. And what I emphasize all the time, especially now to people, is obedience is the key. It really, 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 really is, people. It is the key. A lot of times people are making these awful choices, especially in the day that we're living in right now, because they're not operating in obedience and they're not operating in wisdom. We have to make sure that we are operating in wisdom in the decisions that we are making. We can't allow our emotions, we can't allow our flesh to ruin our purpose, ruin our destiny, ruin the journey that God has for us and before us. We cannot allow that to happen. And in Saul's case, he allowed his anger, his jealousy, he felt like he should continue to hold this position. And rather him just, be obedient and say, okay, let me step aside and let God's will be done. He, like a lot of us do, when we don't see the rationale in something, it doesn't make sense to us, then therefore we put ourselves in a position of making poor decisions, which could cost us everything. Come on, somebody. It will cost you everything. He literally drove himself mad because he walked in disobedience. He walked in anger. He walked in hurt. He walked in, I feel betrayed. Come on. We talk about these emotions a lot in this podcast because these emotions will get you in trouble. We cannot live in the emotion of feeling betrayed. I talked about this not too long ago, even on my Facebook page. Sharing with those that the feeling, the emotion of feeling betrayed is like a cancer. Come on, somebody. It will eat you up alive. We cannot live in that place of feeling betrayed. Oh, even though it happened, maybe someone did betray you, somebody did hurt you, somebody did offend you, but we can't live in offense. We can't live in that place of I have been betrayed by somebody because it's not eating them up. They're going on with their lives, but you're the one who's suffering. You're the one who's holding on to anger. You're the one who's holding on to pain. You're the one who's holding on to, I feel like I'm getting the short end of the stick. I feel as if, everything works out for everybody but does not work out for me. You're living in that place. You're living in that place that's going to cause you to be stressed, emotionally stressed, and which affects our physical. We already know that whatever happens in our minds is going to affect our bodies. So when we position ourselves in a place, we have to understand that there is consequences to whatever place we position ourselves in. Come on, somebody. That's why I believe in position myself in victory. I'm not perfect, but I try my very best to position myself in victory because I read a long time ago that it's a fixed fight, that it's already been done, it's already been finished, and I don't have to swing my hands in the air to get God's attention. I don't have to swing my body around to get God's attention. I already have the victory once I accepted him as my Lord. So I don't have to behave in a way as a person who don't believe. I don't have to respond to every situation as a person who don't believe that God is ruler over my life and that he's leading me and that he's guiding me. So when I have a trust factor with him, then my response has to be different. Come on, somebody. Our response has to be different. Now, I'm not saying it's something that I perfect, but it's something that I work towards daily. And it's something that we all should work towards daily. We push, we persevere, right? We press towards the mark of the high calling, which is in Christ Jesus. We don't have it already figured out, but we're pressing and we're pushing and we're moving forward and towards it. So we have to make sure that we understand wherever we're positioning ourselves in, that's the consequences that come with that place. And when you get a chance to read the story, you will see that the place that Saul positioned himself in cost him so much. He spent 15 years being angry. He spent 15 years targeting him, David. He spent 15 years being mad and stressed and being tormented. 15 years. Come on. Come on. We have been mad at somebody for years. Right? We might not be chasing them all over the land and literally throwing daggers at them, but with our eyes, we're shooting daggers. Come on. With our minds, we have an attitude towards them. If they come in the room, our whole demeanor change. We have had people in our lives that we have given that to also. That same hate, that same anger, that same frustration. And it does not pay off. All you're doing is driving yourself mad because what we feed ourselves is what we're going to put out, right? So we're feeding ourselves all this negativity and all this garbage. What are we going to put out? Garbage. What are we going to put out? Negativity. That's what we're going to put out. So Saul's anger and disobedience caused him to lose everything. You have been equipped, women and men of God, you have been equipped to win with what you already had in you. I keep reminding you, I keep telling you that you were designed to win. You were designed and created to conquer. You were designed and created to make it. You have a purpose. You have a destiny waiting on you. You were already designed for even this moment. I keep telling you that. You were designed to conquer. You are designed to fulfill and complete your purpose, complete your call. That's why you were designed. It's not to fall. It's not to lose. It's not to let go in the middle of a battle or in the middle of a struggle or in the middle of an issue. No. We were designed to stand our ground. We were designed to conquer. We were designed to change the atmosphere around us. Where, in other words, if it's all negative, if it's all doom and gloom, we are designed and created to change it. Come on, somebody. We were designed to do that. The enemy is not greater than you. Hear me again. The enemy is not greater than you. He cannot defeat you because he is stronger than you, but he can defeat you by disarming you. Hear me again. That would be definitely a sticky note moment. Here we go again. For those who don't know, a sticky note moment is something that you will write down so you can go back and look at it again. So for those who follow me, you already know this is a sticky note moment, which is what? He cannot defeat you because he's stronger than you, but he can defeat you by disarming you. Let's look at the captain of torment, which is what? Fear. Fear cannot defeat you because it's stronger than you, but fear can defeat you by disarming you. How can it disarm you? How can it disarm you? Disarming you of your awareness of your true potential. Oh my goodness. This is good. This is good, you guys. This is good. This is another sticky note moment. Here you go. Disarming you of your awareness of your true potential. When you are stuck in a place of fear, when you are stuck in a place of feeling overwhelmed and depression, you don't feel like you have any type of confidence. You feel as flat as the floor can get. Okay? You feel as if you can't make it, you can't take it, you can't handle it. You feel overwhelmed, you overthink, you feel paralyzed, you feel exhausted, even your muscles begin to ache, right? These are all the things that start to happen to you when you fall into fear, right? When you fall into feeling depressed or overwhelmed, right? Well, that's what the enemy does. He can't take away what you have, but he can take away what you think you have. He messes with your thinking. He begins to strip that away from you. He'll tell you you're not good enough. He'll tell you you're not smart enough. He'll tell you you're not pretty enough. He'll tell you you're not educated enough. He'll tell you you're not equipped. He'll tell you you can't handle it. He'll tell you you can't face it. He'll tell you you can't deal with it. He'll tell you that no one loves you, no one cares for you. He'll tell you, there's no need for you to continue on because it's not going to get any better. It's not going to change. You've been telling yourself the same thing over and over again, and it still hasn't changed. He will tell you these things over and over and over again, and then you allow this to repeat and repeat and repeat again in your head and in your thinking. And that's what that begins to do. Strip you down of your strength, strip you down of your confidence, strip you down of your awareness of who you are and who you belong to. Come on, somebody. This is good. This is good stuff, you guys. That's what he does. He stripped you down of your awareness of your true potential. You got so much in you. So many gifts, so many talents. We're not talking about, a little, maybe a little stripping down. We're talking about completely stripping you down to the point where you're not even able to function. You're not able to even see your own potential anymore. This is what he does. He stripped you down of your awareness of your true potential. He can't take away your gifts. He can't take away your talent. He can't take away your favor. He can't take away the power or the anointing that you have. But he can take away your knowledge or ability to use what it is in you to be effective. Oh my goodness. Absolutely. Absolutely. Especially during the time that we're dealing with right now. That's what he would do. This is what I tell you all. These are the perfect ingredients for what? A perfect storm. Come on, somebody. Right now, what's going on in our world globally is a perfect ingredient for a perfect storm. So now you have people who are thinking, what is the point? What's the point? My life will forever be changed. Things will never be the way it used to be. And they begin to play these things and these thoughts over and over in their head. When is this ever going to end? When is this ever going to stop? I'm never going to be the same. What's the point? I had all these plans. I had all these dreams. I had all these goals. What's going to happen to me? And all these things playing over and over and over in your head. So he can't take away the fact that you are talented. He can't take away the fact that you are loved and you are fearfully and wonderfully made. He can't take away the fact that you do have power and you do have a skill and you do have anointing. He can't take away those things, but he can take away the fact of your awareness of those things, your knowledge of those things, or your ability to use it. Now, you can't take away your ability of it, but you can take away your ability to use it. He began to numb you. He began to numb you of your potential, blind you from everything else is in your view but your potential. You're looking at every issue. You're looking at every problem. You're looking at every struggle. You're looking at everything that's going on, but you don't see your potential. You don't see that you may be the answer to somebody's problem. You can't even see that right now could be your moment in your time to birth out your gift, to birth out your ideas, to come out with something that's going to be essential during this time that we're living in, because the enemy has blocked you from showing you, from letting you see rather, what your potential is, because you have fed yourself so much negativity, so much garbage, so much drama, so many problems that you don't allow yourself to see your true potential. That's what he uses. You have to understand he's deceitful. He's deceitful. So he is trying his best to keep you from your purpose. I mean, if you can understand your purpose is like right there in front of you, but you can't even see it because all you see is this bill is due, but I don't have a job. I got laid off. So you don't even see that maybe you can use this I've been laid off moment to come out with this idea that you've had sitting for 20 years, but because of your job, you haven't had the time to do it. All you're going to see is, I don't have a job. I need my bills to be paid. And I need to find a way, to make money. So you don't see that you got the money right in your hands. Like your hands is gifted to do something that produces you money. Because all you can see now is this is due. I can't think. I don't know what to do. I mean, everybody's being laid off. So what can I do? I'm not special. It's nothing good about me. I don't have any gifts. You don't even see it. He done blocked you from it to the point that now you're telling yourself, I don't have any gifts. I don't have nothing that I can give. I don't have anything that I can produce. I don't have anything that I can make a profit from. Come on. That's all you're saying. And that's all you're going to see. What can I do? I tried this and it didn't work. I tried that and it didn't work. So then you just stop. And so because you've seen certain things not happen, you just stop. And you can't see the potential because you allow him to strip you of the awareness, strip you of the ability to see what is right there in front of you. So sometimes we have to change our perspective, change how we're looking at things so that we can change our lives, right? We talk about that all the time. Change our perspective so we can change our lives. It is so important to know who you are and whose you are in God. You are a weapon in God to be used to conquer any area of your life. Any area. Okay, any area. And the issue is a lot of times we think, well, okay, this I can handle, but okay, this right here, this is something that can't be resolved. And that's not true. You are equipped to handle anything that comes. He's equipped you to handle this. You were made for this. You were created for this. You were designed to handle this. Okay, you're not fighting by yourself. You're not carrying a load on your own. You got somebody who got your back. So you can handle it. You can handle it. Not on your own strength, but the one who got your back, you can handle this. You are built to last. Okay? Hear me very clearly. You are built to last, not to be wasted. If you truly understand the potential that was placed in you, there's nothing that will be able to hold you down. And once again, we can't see that because we allow the enemy to snatch away our ability to see our potential, how great you are, how strong you are, how mighty you are, how you're able to do exceedingly abundantly more than you can even think of, right? God can do that for you. And in him, you can do that. You have limited yourself to what you can do and what you can do. But you can do exceedingly abundantly more than you ever thought you can do because our view has been limited. And so many times that we've told ourselves, I cannot do it, I cannot handle it, and then we go through it. Come on. How many women have had their first child and say, I'm never doing this again. I can never go through this again. I think I would just die if I have to go through this again. And then they have 2, 3, 4 more children, right? Because you can. We tell ourselves what we can't do. We tell ourselves what we cannot handle. We tell ourselves what we cannot take. And then that right there makes us think that that is a fact and that it is true and that it is accurate when actually it's not. It's a lie. Because you can do that and more. We can do that and more because we were created and we were designed to last, not to be wasted. If you truly understood the potential that was placed in you, there is nothing that will be able to keep and hold you down. But he could keep you from seeing that. People often say that God will make a way, but it is important to know that it will take faith along the way. We have to have faith that during this journey. We could say what can happen, but if we don't believe that it can happen, then we're just saying something. Once again, that goes back to the application process. We have to apply what we say. We have to apply it to our lives. Whatever we truly believe and say, then that's what we'll see. But if we're just saying it, no, it's not going to work. You have to say it and then apply it to your life. You have to step out of your comfort zone. You have to step out of what has been really, our hiding place, our security blanket. We have to throw that away in order for us to get to where we need to be. And for some of us, it's harder than others to come out of our comfort zone, to come out of our security, because we can hide there. We can hide there. But there is going to come a time in your life and a place in your life where that place is going to become uncomfortable. And you're going to have to come out of hiding and step out of your comfort zone in order for you to get to where you need to be. Come on, somebody. We need to make sure that we are understanding our full potential and the grace that has been put in you, and the authority that has been put into you, and the power that has been put into you in order for you to accomplish what you are here to accomplish. It is important to understand that God is always there, but we cannot forget our role in this journey. We have a position. We have our own role in our journey. Understanding our role and authority is essential in being effective. Okay? It's essential. How could you ever doubt the authority that God has already given if you read the scripture, Matthew 16:19? I will give you the keys of the kingdom of heaven. Whatever you bind on earth will be bound in heaven. Whatever you loose on earth will be loosed in heaven. How can you ever doubt the authority? If he tells you, look, I'm giving it to you. I'm giving you the keys. He gave you the authority. He gave you the authority to speak it, to speak it, to speak it. And we're not doing that. We're not speaking it. We're speaking, but we're not speaking the right things. We're speaking all the negative. We're speaking all of the doubt and the gloom and the doom. We're speaking if it's not one thing, it's another. We're speaking all when it rains, it pours. I can't get a break. I can never, when is it my turn? When is things going to work out for me? That's what we're speaking. That's what we're speaking. But we can just turn that around and begin to, bind things here on earth. Bind things here and begin to loose things on earth, that so it can be loosed in heaven. So I can have what I speak. He gave us the key. You have the power. That is the scripture for you to understand your power and the authority that has been given to you. Matthew 16:19. He gave you the keys. He gave me the keys of the kingdom of heaven. Whatever you bind on earth will be bound in heaven. Whatever you loose on earth will be loosed in heaven. How could you ever doubt that authority? God has already given you, if you read that scripture, he has given you the power and the authority over the enemy and anything that attempts to keep you bound. Fear, depression, anxiety, all these things are keeping you down. He has given us the power. He has given us the authority. And let me be really clear about this. Let me make this really clear. I'm not saying this as if it's a cakewalk. In other words, I'm not saying this as if it's just, overnight, flip, turn, I'm better. No, I'm not saying that. People who are struggling with such, issues of anxiety and depression and panic attacks and fear and all these things, especially now during this time, it's not something that you can just flip on and off, right? It's not a light switch. You can't just flip it off, right? But you can put into practice. And whatever we practice, we perfect. Come on, y'all. I love y'all. Y'all know I'm giving you something that's going to help you today. It doesn't turn off. And for those who come to you and tell you that they've never experienced this or they don't understand, and it's easy for them to tell you, would you just stop it already? Just stop it. Would you stop it? No, I get it. It's not flip up a switch. It don't turn on and off. But what I do know is that what you practice, what you perfect, whether it be good or bad. So if we can begin to apply this scripture to our lives, and we can begin to apply the power and the authority that we have over our lives, and we begin to apply that and start to put that to practice and begin to speak life and hope, we can see the change. We can see the progress. And for those who are dealing with real emotional issues and real mental health issues regarding these type of things that is triggered by fear, then you understand that a little progress means a whole lot to you, right? It means the world to you to see, oh my God, I can now do something that I haven't done in so many years. Oh my God, now I'm able to, handle things that I was not able to handle, 2 years ago. But now I can handle that. Back in the day, that would have put me, in this dark place. But now I can see, me overcoming this. I can see me getting stronger. I can see me. That means the world to someone who has been struggling and struggling and struggling. Well, how do you get to that place? You put into practice what you want to see. If I want to continue to see panic attacks, anxiety, fear, feeling overwhelmed, feeling dread, feeling gloom, then I'm going to put into practice all the things that will put me there. I'm going to see what I know will put me there, okay? So in other words, I'm going to feed myself everything that would make me uneasy. I'm going to feed myself all the drama, all the garbage, all the gossip, all the mess. I'm going to look at the news 24/7 to watch everything that's going around globally. I'm going to listen to everything that's happening 24/7 and everywhere around the world regarding even what we're dealing right now with COVID-19. I'm going to do this to myself. And when I do that to myself, guess what's going to happen? I'm going to see the effects. I'm going to see the effects of me drowning myself literally in all of this 24/7. But if I want to see freedom, if I want to feel freedom, then no matter how hard it is, I'm going to work towards the total opposite. Every time that comes towards me, I'm going to fight it off. Every time that look, I'm not going to entertain it. I'm going to recognize it. I'm going to expose it because I've been taught to do that. Okay, I see what's happening. I see that I've given too much time to this. So let me just go ahead and begin to acknowledge I see that. Now let me make the change, a healthy, productive change to get what I need. I'm not going to sit here and drown in this place. Why? Because I have the power. I have the authority. I can do that. Come on, somebody. Once we realize that, once we really take that in, that you have what you speak. You have what you speak. So what's going to come out your mouth is what's going on in your head. So the first thing I got to deal with is what's going on in my head, right? What am I thinking? Because that's what I'm going to project. What am I thinking? Am I saying one thing but then thinking another thing? Come on. I got to make sure it's lining up. Whatever I am thinking has to come out of my mouth. So I'm going to make sure that I'm not 24/7 feeding myself something that's going to put me in a place that's dark, that's frightening, that is scary, that is overwhelming. Because look, we are human beings. We can only take so much. We can only take so much. You have to make sure that yourself. And if this is if what you do is to get off social media pages and more positive podcasts, I'm gonna listen to the radio. I'm gonna begin to clean up and clean up my place and make it look and smell and feel good from whatever it takes for you to get to where you need to be, then you need to do that. You need to make sure that you're doing that. Come on. You always are able to pull yourself up. It doesn't feel like it. It doesn't seem like it when you're in the middle of it, but you have the power and you have the authority to pull yourself up. You can do it. You can do it. Irregardless to what that voice is saying to you, irregardless to what that voice is telling you, irregardless to what that constant going back and forth in your head is saying to you, you can. Because what you're going to do, you're going to put into practice something total opposite. Come on. You're fighting for your life. You're fighting for your health. You're fighting for your strength. You're fighting to get your confidence back. Aren't you worth it? Aren't you worth that? Yes, you are. Yes, you are. I know what it's like to be in a place where you feel like you can't take anymore. I know what it feels like to be in a place where you feel like if one more thing happens, I'm like a rubber band, I'm about to pop. I know what it's like to be in a place where you feel useless, hopeless. You feel like, okay, I don't get it anymore. I'm overwhelmed right now. I'm exhausted. I know what that feels like. And I'm telling you that from that place, you can get a rising. From even that darkest place, you can get a rising, which means you can rise up. You could come from that place of hurt. You could come from that place of anger. You could come from that place of betrayal. You could come from that place of grief. You could come from that place from feeling completely overwhelmed. You could come from that place. You don't have to stay there. You are not designed to stay there. What are you designed to do? To conquer. You are designed to conquer. You're designed to learn your lesson while you're there in that place, but move on from it. Don't stay there. Understand whatever it is that put you there, but don't stay there. Okay? You know, I believe in getting to the root of our issues. Talk about this a lot. Get into the root of your issues. Finding out whatever is your trigger, whatever has put you in this place. A lot of us right now, a lot of people are being triggered by what's going on globally, right? That's a trigger for everybody. That's a fear of thinking that you will succumb to what's going on globally, right? Thinking that you can't bounce back from this or that we won't bounce back from this. Right? That's a trigger for everybody right now. A lot of people are struggling with that. So I get that. But there are people that were struggling before this. So understand that it's like a double dose, a triple dose that they're going through right now. They were already struggling with emotional and health and physical, physical issues and mental issues. So this right here is like a triple dose of what they were already dealing and struggling with. So I get it. I get it. So that's why I'm here to remind you that you got the power. Oh, I don't care what it looks like. I don't care what you even think it feels like. You still have the power and the authority to speak over your own situation, to speak over your own life, to speak a change for yourself. We are so powerful. We are so created and designed to be powerful. We are created and designed to speak over our lives and to see the thing come to pass. We are able to do that, to see it come to pass. So I'm encouraging you today to rise up from that place that you are today, to come from that place. Don't sit there. Don't meditate there any longer. Don't sit there and just decide to give up. Don't decide to just give in to whatever you're feeling and whatever you're going through emotionally or physically or whatever. Don't give up on yourself because you have the power. You have the authority, and that is the key. That is the key. You have it. So don't give into it. Don't let go. Don't decide today, I can't take it anymore. Don't decide today, I can't handle it. Don't even speak that over yourself because you can. You can. You woke up this morning. You were allowed to see another day. You can handle it. Come on. Yes, you can. You think that you are just here by accident? I don't care how you were conceived. I don't care what happened beforehand, but you're still here. You're not an accident. It's not a mistake that you're here. It's not a mistake that I'm here. It's not a mistake that I'm able to talk and share with you today. It's not an accident that I went through so many different changes to be able to encourage and empower and inspire people today. I went through a lot to get here. Hear me today. I went through a lot to even be here today to share with you. That's not an accident. I was able to go through it so that I can share with somebody else that yes, you can. Yes, you can. You could come from it. You can grow from it. You can be strengthened from it. You can learn from it. Just don't stay there. Just don't stay there. Don't allow it to consume you like a cancer. Don't allow it to take you out like you're nobody. You're somebody, and you are able to handle it. You are able to deal with it. And I'm reading and looking at some of the comments on today. And one of the comments was, okay, but I always fall back into my old ways. Okay. And let me tell you something. You're not the first person, and you won't be the last person who do that. We do that. We do make mistakes. We're not perfect. We do make mistakes. That doesn't mean that you're not worthy. That doesn't mean that you're not strong. That just simply means that you're human. But what do? We put to practice what we want. At some point, the more you practice the positive behavior, the good behavior, that becomes your norm. Come on, y'all. That's some good stuff. That will become your norm. Right now, what is your norm is a repeated pattern of making the same bad choices, making the same bad mistakes, going back to the same place, falling in the same hole over and over and over again. That's what we do. We make those mistakes. But at some point, once you continue to pursue, once you can continue to persevere, then that's of the past. That no longer will be an issue or struggle. Now, here comes something else. I guarantee you that. Once you have surpassed this issue and you moved on and you conquered that, this is called life. Here comes another thing that you must learn from, grow from, and conquer from. Y'all, this is good. This is the truth. I want you to hear that. It will always be something that's going to come to be a challenge. I call them life moments. There are challenges that we have to face and that we have to do. That's how we grow. That's how we mature. That's how we become a better person. It's not going to always be smooth or gravy or perfect or anything. It's going to always be challenges. But the more that you push and persevere, you're going to grow. You're going to learn. You're going to be able to say, okay, I'm done with that one. Trust me, you don't even see that no more because it doesn't faze you anymore. It doesn't bother you anymore. So it doesn't even come back. That's gone. Then here comes something else that you must learn from. You must grow from. Okay? You must grow from. So, okay, another thing is saying like this type of behavior, it discourages you, right? It's going to discourage. Well, don't let it. Because I just told you that you're human and that you're going to make a mistake. Okay? And if you say to yourself, I'm looking at the comments, say that, when you don't self-discipline yourself, it's hard to apply this in your life. Okay. I get you and I hear you. You're right. It is hard to apply something when you're not self-disciplined. Why do you feel like you're not self-disciplined? Because that's not something that you put into practice. You keep telling yourself it's something that you can't handle. You keep telling yourself it's something that you can't deal with. You already telling yourself, I struggle with being self-disciplined. So how do you change that? You work towards becoming self-disciplined. It's possible. How do I know it's possible? Because there's a lot of people in the world who practice being self-disciplined. Some people will have a struggle that another person do not have a struggle with. So what you're struggling with, somebody else is not struggling with, and what they're struggling with, you are disciplined in. So you are designed to be self-disciplined. It's just that in certain areas you struggle with that, right? It's not in every area. Come on, be realistic with yourself. Stop being hard on yourself. You're not lacking self-discipline in every area. That's not true. It's in certain areas you're going to find there's a struggle, right? You're going to find there's a struggle. But what do? The same way you're able to be disciplined in this area is the same way you can be disciplined in another area. It's just what we practice. It's what we decide that we want to put an effort to. A lot of times we don't be self-disciplined in an area because we are contented sometimes. We it's like something you held on to for so long. It's become a part of you. And you feel like, okay, this is what I do. It happens all the time. So nothing's going to change. And this is just who I am. It's a part of my makeup. It's part of my DNA. I mean, we convince ourselves of all these things. We're feeding ourselves all these things. This is just who I am. My mother struggled with it. My father struggled with it. Their mother struggled with it. Their father struggled with it. Just part of our family. Come on, somebody need to go get my book, Breaking Family Ties, baby. Come on. It's not. It doesn't have to be. We do not have to tell ourselves these things and embrace these things, snuggle up with these things as if this is something that we just have to take. We don't have to take it. A lot of things we are taught and we are kind of we're born into, which is true, but do we have to let that be and that's all? No, we do not. We have, once again, the power and authority to say right here, there's a chapter in my book, Breaking Family Ties, that says the book stops here. That means every little curse, every little disease, every little issue that went down every family line, emotional, whatever it is, it stops here. If you have a family that was filled with physical abuse, you have a father and a mother and they fought 24/7. Do you have to adopt that behavior, take it to your own household? No. You don't, right? So it's the same thing with something else. Just because they, were alcoholics all the way down to your mother or your father, does that mean I have to be an alcoholic? No, I don't. But if I tell myself that, well, everybody in my family is alcoholic, I've heard this 24/7. Trust me, I've heard this all my life. And people say, well, everybody in the house, everybody in the family, the whole line of family members are alcoholics. So therefore, hey, what? You don't have to accept that. You don't have to embrace that, but we do it. And we do it so cordial sometimes that we don't understand the repercussions and the consequences that come from accepting and embracing things that we shouldn't embrace and we should not take. We don't have to take everything. We don't have to accept everything. Why is it so easy for us to accept all the negative things, but it's not easy for us to accept all the positive things? You can't say, well, my grandmother was a beautiful person. She had a big heart and she was a giver, right? How many times you heard? But when it comes to you, you said, but you know what? Times have changed. I just can't be doing all of that, right? I'm just not going to do that. I can't deal with people like that. That's funny. That's almost comical, right? You could take all of the negative things that you might say about somebody, well, just in my family line, but a giver, she spent time with people. She checked on people. She made sure people was okay and all this. I don't have time for that. We pick and choose what we want to take for ourselves. And all I'm discussing today is understanding that you have the power and authority to choose good, to choose right. You don't have to accept every negative thing and everything that's going to put you in a dark place. You don't have to accept that and take ownership. We are taking ownership of things that we should not take ownership of. You can have a condition, but the condition does not have you. And a lot of times when we speak of our conditions, we speak ownership of our conditions. I've done it. I get it. I had to hear myself do that before. A condition, a health condition, or whatever. And I heard myself constantly say, my. I took ownership of it. It became who I was. And the thing is, it's a condition. It does not have to define you. Whatever we go through does not have to define us. It does not have to have control over you. Okay? It's a condition. It's an issue. It's a problem. But it does not have ownership of us. And we should not take ownership of it. We need to learn our lessons while we are in our places. In our middle of our journeys, we go through different life moments. We need to learn these moments and move on to the next moment. We need not to stay in the place that we were designed to travel through. And that is something that I share multiple times on the podcast because somebody needs to hear that. You don't have to stay there. Sometimes we feel like, well, I don't know anything else. This is all I've ever known. So then we become uncomfortable with changes. But if it's for the better, then you need to make those necessary changes. If it's for your health, if it's for your confidence, if it's for your strength, if it's for to make you a better person, then you deserve that. You deserve that. Sometimes you just have to make the tough decisions. That's a part of life. That's a part of maturity. It's to make those hard and tough choices. And these choices can be scary. They could be frightening, extremely fearful to you, but it is necessary for your growth. It is necessary for your sanity to make decisions that are tough and that are hard, but it's necessary. And you can do it. You can do it. Look, you guys, I can talk all day. It has been so awesome to be able to talk to you guys today about our different changes and different moments that we go through, understanding that we have the power to handle it and to deal with it. And it does not have to consume you. It does not have to keep its foot on your neck. This is a time and a place for you all to rise up. I want you to rise up today. I'm not sure what happened to you last week, over the weekend, or anything else, or even the beginning of this day. But this moment, you can change it. Today, right now, as you have listened to me and you listen to this podcast, I want to encourage you to rise up. Understand that you have the power and you have the authority, and that is the key for you coming out of your place. Understand your worth. Understand that no matter what no one has ever told you, you are fearfully and you are wonderfully made. You are a gift. You are loved. You are precious. You are a jewel. Okay? I'm sorry that you were told something different, but if they told you something different, they lied. Okay? Let me be the first person to tell you that. They lied. You are special and you are loved and you are cared for. And so I want you to take that and let that be something that you embrace. Okay, we embrace all the negative. Let's embrace that today. Come on, let us leave together on today saying rise up. Come on, rise up. I need you to rise up from your place where you are. Come on up from there. You can do it. I have faith in you. I have faith because guess what? You took the time to listen to this podcast. So I got faith in you that you are ready to change. I have faith in you that you are ready to see that difference. You think you chimed in by accident? No. I don't believe in accidents. I don't believe in coincidence. I believe it was in God's great design for you to listen today, that you can rise up from that place. So I'm so grateful for those who chimed in today and realize their true potential, that they have the authority and they have the power to rise up and take control of what has been trying to take control over them. You guys are the best. And I thank you so much for listening to Renew My Revolution podcast. I am your host, Michelle Cook Hall. I want you to go and follow me. I'm on all the social media platforms. I have Instagram and I have Facebook and I have the Twitter page. Go ahead and look me up, Michelle Cook Hall. I would love to, chit chat with you guys and connect with you. Leave a comment if you enjoy this podcast. Any questions, concerns? I do respond as best I can to those who leave a message because it's important to me. This is my life. This is what I do. This is my purpose. And so I'm so grateful to be able to fulfill my purpose. And I pray that you will do the same and fulfill your purpose. So as always, it has been my honor and it's been my pleasure. Until we meet again, know that I love you. But most importantly, God loves you more. God bless you guys.